Over the past year, the United States of America reached a clash of ideologies not seen for generations.
It got ugly, violence erupting.
In the months leading up to the presidential election last November, Americans found themselves fearful over which direction the country would head, with emotions and opinions running at a fever pitch. And those who live the spirituality were not excluded from the deep divisions.
I never imagined how crazy things were going to get.
I understood that it was a soul-wrenching decision for many.
It was very hard for me to listen to people say stuff that I didn't believe in.
There is so much polarization and even demonization of others today is because there are such strong and different opinions held by people.
A year prior to the presidential election, some seeds of dialogue had already been planted in communities across the United States. The Focolare had been hosting workshops on the 5 steps to positive political dialogue across the country.
People paired off, and they had to choose a topic to talk about on which they strongly disagreed. So the twist was, first one person shared a view, then the other person had to repeat the view back before sharing his own view. And the results were pretty interesting. People gained an appreciation not just for the other person's point of view, but they also reflected and reconsidered their own view. We felt like, of course, we didn't solve the world's problems in the workshops, but we got a new hope and a new tool, thinking maybe it's possible that we can solve these problems with dialogue.
With 11 days
then,
to
as
go,
the 2016 election neared, tensions rose by the day. Feelings of anger and bitterness bubbling to the surface, putting relationships at risk.
I was very agitated. And I remember coming, examining my soul and saying, but I want to work for unity. I want to be a person that builds bridges, not a person that accepts this divide the way it is. After a few mistakes, I learned to be more sensitive in my comments that I posted on Facebook, not hurting the people who differed with my perspective.
All my preaching and all my yelling, it wasn't really doing any good because, either way, it wasn't changing what people believed in. And so I took more of like a sit back and listen stance. By stopping to talk, I actually listened, and I found that we had more, like people that I disagree with, we had more in common than I thought.
go out and vote tomorrow.
Vote for yourselves. Vote for your...
Amid the deafening political noise, these personal experiences in building unity through dialogue expanded into academic environments, like Fordham Law School in the heart of Manhattan, where 2 Focolare members work. A workshop on dialogue and the difficult questions was well received.
Most of them said they were there because they really want to understand if dialogue is really possible among such polarization.
After presenting the 5 steps to positive political dialogue, participants got right to work, practicing what they had learned.
It was important to realize that we could engage in those difficult conversations and be able not to enter in a big, passionate argument.
It became clear that when given the tools, even the most impassioned people were willing to put them into practice.
Donald Trump is the President of the United States.
Election day came and went, and 2 months later, the inauguration rekindled those hot emotions. 6 blocks from the steps of the Capitol building at Georgetown Law School, the diverse population of students found themselves in a similarly strained situation.
With the students in the class immediately after the inauguration, we decided on how we wanted to be together as a group during this particularly tense time.
Amy Ullman, author of 5 Steps to Positive Political Dialogue, used the same workshop format among her law students and colleagues to unlock the doors of communication among them.
Then we also realized that often in any conversation there will be caricatures, mischaracterizations, misunderstandings, information that's just wrong. And so to agree all together to be open to correction or to working out the difficulties when different perspectives were colliding.
Those efforts to inject unity continued in Arkansas, a generally conservative state, but where Bill Clinton was once governor and Hillary Clinton served as First Lady. The inauguration sparking excitement on one side, anger and isolation on the other. Laura Kellerman leads a newsroom in the state's capital, and together the staff decided to take a stand on the air and ask the community of Little Rock to come together.
Our team of journalists felt like we had the chance to be a voice for our city. So one of our more experienced reporters put together a commentary at a pretty hot time, calling for unity and an open mind.
There is no them, no us. There is we, the people.
Obviously, that's not going to fix things. It's not going to change anybody's view, but hopefully it gives people permission to think beyond their singular view. We're going to try to keep the dialogue going and staying faithful to representing all sides and voices.
And with each new step, the community in the United States is called to continue to reach across the divide.